I'm Courtney.
And I'm Emily. And this is Cheers to That. Welcome back to another week of your weekly podcast where we talk about motherhood, marriage, and laugh at everything in between.
And we're back for a regular week.
Regular.
We chatted with Ashley last week. Audio, yes, if you listen to it. We know we have work to do. We're trying to figure that out, but it was still so fun.
It was still good conversations. I know. And seriously, we are working diligently. I'm posting in the Facebook podcasting communities, trying to figure out how to make our sound better for guests because we love having guests. So just know we're working on that. But I say in the spirit of that, we're bringing back regular episodes for a little bit.
And I'm excited.
Me too. I know. I feel like we haven't because we skipped for spring break.
Yes.
And so we haven't had just a normal sit down chatty chat.
Yes.
In a little while.
Well, and we talked about too with guests, like our goal is once a month anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a solid goal because you guys get the regular version of us any other time, unless we decide to skip a week. So
it was spring break. Like, let us live.
We had to. We're teachers.
We went to the zoo. We were busy.
Sorry, the zoo was so much better than like recording for that one day. I love recording, but we needed that time. So.
Yes. And then my son got the worst eczema breakout of his life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. It was rough.
It was not good. It didn't even look like him.
He looked like he had measles, which are going around right now. I'm just kidding.
Good thing you didn't tell me that when that was happening. I would have been like, what?
No, it looked like a really bad allergic reaction to something, but turns out it was just to outside, which is your kid.
Which is valid. No, he has allergy-induced eczema. So anytime his allergies flare up, he usually gets it like in his knee pit. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Well, that's what you call it. So
in his knee pit. In his knee pit, he gets it and it's bad, but this was on his face. His eyes were swollen. It was like Quasimodo.
It was a bad time for him. He was miserable. And then he gave you mom traum for like 2 weeks straight because not only did he have that where you rushed him to the pediatricians, got that taken care of, then he ended up with a stomach bug bad enough where you sent me a picture and I called you immediately and I said, we're like reverse on this.
Yes.
I am the one that will try to do everything at home before I go in. And you're the one that is like, I'm taking him straight in. Mm-hmm. And it was me that called you this time and said, you need to take him in.
Yes. Yeah. So he Friday morning, well, it's like we've been through all this all week. And then I thought I poisoned him because I gave him Benadryl at night after 12 hours. Earlier, he had a Zyrtec dose. And I was like, oh my God. Which I do all the time. But for some reason, I thought maybe I poisoned him. So he's like, wakes up Friday morning, Thursday morning, vomiting stomach bile. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what's going on? And it was like profuse. I mean, he could not stop. So yeah, I sent you a picture and you were like, he looks like a corpse. He
was pale and his lips were pale and that's what concerned me. Mm-hmm. And so you took him straight to urgent care and turns out it was just a really bad bug.
Thought it was related to like one of the topical steroids, his allergies.
At one point they thought that he had swallowed something and ruined his stomach.
So at urgent care, they were concerned, which this is just like, mom tips to share. Mm-hmm. Because it was stomach bile, it was extra scary because that meant that like there was no food or anything in his stomach and he had eaten the night before, but he hadn't had a bowel movement the day before. So that was the concern is that there's some sort of obstruction in his bowels that's not letting food or bile pass in the correct way.
A Lego, an AirPod as he had in his mouth last night of mine. I mean, it could have been anything.
No, for sure. The thing about fielding is he's going to put it in his mouth, but he's pretty good about not, like, he comes up to me and is like, bleh, and he spits it out.
I mean, in his 3 years of life, I don't think he swallowed anything.
Nothing that I know of. So. Yeah, nothing that I know of.
But it was, like, maybe a possibility.
Yes, it was.
Could have been.
It was either... Well, it was scary because they told me either he has an obstruction and you need to take him to the emergency room to get, like, an MRI, or... it's a stomach bug. But it was like,
why is it one or the other? But that's how it always is. Worst case scenario, or sorry, we can't give you any medicine for this. It just has to run its course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like either your kid's going to need surgery to get this removed or he's yakking. And I'm like, at the same time as the allergy situation, but that's so fielding. Like when it rains, it pours with him health-wise.
He's not sick very often, but when he is, it is a plague.
It was terrible. So anyways, he got Zofran, happy as a clam. He like fell asleep on the doctor's like examining table, which is so not him. And then he got Zofran, perked right up, ready to party, live his life. I'm like,
That's so your kid, though. That's
Are you for real?
Because that's you. You love your Zofran.
That's
so
true. I didn't covet Zofran until I had him, though, because I saw one time, I think the first time we got Zofran, we were in Michigan, because we go to Michigan every summer with Connor's family, and he just started, same thing, stomach bug-ish, could not stop throwing up. He threw up 11 times in 4 hours. So I called the teledoc. We got a prescription for Zofran. I saw him take the Zofran. Miracle drug. Miracle drug.
You keep it on hand now most of the time.
So I found out that when my grandpa was going through chemo treatment, they prescribed him a ton of Zofran. And so my grandpa unfortunately passed away almost a year and a half ago. And my grandma the other day pulled out his stash of Zofran. And she was like, oh yeah, I've got tons of Zofran. And I was like, why are you gatekeeping the
She's
Zofran?
A Zofran drug dealer.
No, so I was like, can I have this? And she's like, I guess.
$10 a pop.
No, literally. She's trying to scalp me. Cynthia, okay. No, but
do you want to see what else I have in this drawer?
3 sleeves of Zofran. I'm like, yes, this is what I crave. And I don't even get the stomach virus that often, but I want to be able to stop it. I hate throwing up so much. But yeah. And that's how
y'all survived though the past
No, and
2
Connor
weeks,
and I didn't get anything. That's what's so crazy is that Fielding gets these weird bouts of throwing up so hard, and Connor and I don't get it.
He has a very weak stomach. Anything makes that kid throw up, and so you never know. Did he smell a food he didn't like, or does he have a stomach bug?
100%.
You just never know.
When I make soup, I love to make zuppa Toscana, but it hurts my stomach so bad. But I love it.
Is it the heavy whipping cream that you put? Because that's the only thing I can think of in there.
No, it's
that
the sodium.
Oh.
I don't know. Something about it hurts my stomach.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the grease from the Italian sausage, because sometimes it's greasy, and if you don't drain it, because I usually don't drain it because it gives a lot of flavor.
Well, and you put the flour, that kind of makes a little roux. I don't know. I mean,
something to ponder.
The thing is, I'm just going to keep going.
I just want to solve this for you so you don't have this problem every time you make your favorite soup.
I love it so much. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna persevere. But Fielding smelled it and he's like, bleh.
Oh,
he didn't actually throw up, but he gagged. Okay.
He's trying to offend you.
Story of my life. But anyways, what's going on with you?
Same old. Let's see. Oh, I just looked this morning. I was going to tell you. So I'm almost finished with the one class that I'm on, and then I have 2 classes, and then I have my capstone. So this is for my master's, and I've talked about it on here before, but it feels so close now. I'm almost to the end of this course. So technically 3 courses left, and at the end of the summer, I will graduate. I will get time back in my life.
Yes, oh my
As
God.
I'm getting ready this morning, I'm listening to the lecture. That way, after this, I can do the discussion.
Yes.
And it's just funny. You just have to plan these things out and whatever. So I'm very excited.
You're going to feel like you have won the lottery of time when you're done with this.
I know. I'll be able to watch TV shows again. I have not given up reading as far my reading comes first, and then it's my master's program.
The thing is that you still find time to watch shows. You watch, I would say, as many shows as me, in movies. I don't know how you do it.
Sometimes I multitask. So sometimes I'm doing my homework as I watch my show, or I just stay up way too late. But speaking of that, I started telling you about it yesterday, but I watched a really good movie. But I wanted to just share a little bit about it because it's on Netflix right now, but it's from 2015. So it's already 10 years old, which is crazy. But the cast in it,
I don't like that.
Stellar.
Okay,
stellar
can you
cast.
name the cast? You told me last night, but I forgot.
Okay, so the movie is Everest.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is,
this movie's
we should start
so
there.
Good.
The movie is about this group of people in the 90s that are climbing Mount Everest and their trek up there. Crazy movie. If you have not watched it, watch it. If you've watched it, watch it again. It actually made me really depressed. But I like those movies.
Be sad with Courtney. No, I like movies like that too. They kind of traumatize you, but in a good way.
Yes, yeah, I'm definitely traumatized from it. So it has Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
It has Mia Goth before she was even famous, when she was literally 21. She makes a rare appearance. She's the daughter of one of the guys in there. There's a couple more people.
You know what? I'm so proud of you for getting 2 names.
Yeah, I got 2 names. Hang on. I do want to Google this like super fast because you will be so impressed. And it's a lot of people that in 2015, I wouldn't have known, but now they've had a lot of movies since then.
Everest was their launching pad, and we didn't know.
I feel like that is the case. And the image, like for it being a 2015 movie, it is so, like the graphics on it is really good. You feel like you're actually there, which is actually really scary.
I would rather do almost anything else. I would run a marathon 5 times before I would climb Mount Everest.
I know. I was asking because I was watching it with Grace, and Shannon fell asleep because he's already watched it. But I was asking, like, why would someone do this? Why? And she's like, well, why do some people run a marathon? I'm like, yeah, but like a marathon's not going to kill me. Mount Everest, I'm just going to throw out a probability there. You probably have like a 50% probability that you're going to die.
I mean, technically we all have a 50% probability that we're going to die every day.
Okay, as Jason Clarke, which if you look at his face,
I know who he is.
Which I love. I really like him. Can't name another movie he's in, but I know he's in
Gatsby. He was in that movie with Blake Lively where she was blind. He's in the reboot of Pet Sematary. Your nails look really good.
Oh, thanks. Gel myself. He's in Zero Dark 30.
Yeah,
White House Down, Oppenheimer, Lawless.
He's a supporting character in like everything.
Josh Brolin, you know him.
I know him. He's Deadpool
Sam
too.
Worthington, Avatar Man.
Give me a. Yeah.
Like, Keira Knightley. How did I forget about her?
Really buried the lead on that one. Keep going.
I mean, Martin Henderson, which is, I didn't recognize the name. He's off of Virgin River. He's the main actor on Virgin River.
He's on Grey's Anatomy too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you, star-studded cast. The movie, amazing. Will you want to go? Yes. Oh, for sure.
I'm shook that you watched this movie and didn't immediately plan a trip to climb Mount Everest. Like, I'm surprised that you had I guess it was all about death. I think if it was a triumphant movie where like,
you mean with Reese Witherspoon where she goes and climbs the mountain by herself? Or she hikes?
She hikes the PCT.
Oh, right after I watched that, I wanted to sign up for PCT.
No, I had the same reaction, and I hate camping, being outdoors, walking long distances, running. But
survival, mosquitoes, you name it.
Not taking a shower? No thanks. But I had the same reaction watching Wild. That's a very inspiring story.
So yeah,
but not Everest.
No. It was so good. Well, and then so on my read list, I just finished The Four Winds, which is by Kristen Hanna. It's about the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, and I literally had like 10 pages left to finish it. And Grace goes, "Are you sure you want to finish that like right after you finish watching Everest, which just traumatized us?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, I need to get it out of the way, like I do, because any ending of Kristen Hanna's is just like gut wrenching. So
okay, so without giving me too many spoilers,
okay,
just I haven't read a Kristen Hanna book yet. It's on my list to do. Why are her endings so devastating? Someone dies, always one of the main characters, or it's just sad?
It's the way she wraps it up with a bow. She makes it so beautiful because the whole book is pretty much devastation. Mm-hmm. I know I'm really wanting to make you read Kristen Hanna. So the whole book is devastation, and then the way she wraps it up, like it may not be pretty, but it is so... It's so real and heartfelt. And then at the very end too, she always like describes like kind of like what her process was with the book, because although it's historical fiction, she puts so many facts in it. Like anything I'm already telling everyone, like, in the Four Winds, like they called everyone that moved from the Southern Plains to California Okies. Yeah. Do I know that for a fact? No, but Kristen Hanna put that in a book. So she does. It's a lot of fact-based writing. Yes. So
I think that's what's so intimidating about historical fiction. Like, if I were to be a writer, which I'm not, like let's
just dreaming,
just spitballing, but like thinking about fantasy versus historical fiction. Kristen Hanna has to like research the shit out of everything she's doing. Sarah J. Maas just has to like write down the random rules she has made.
Yes.
And she can make like loopholes in life. Like, oh, never mind, he's alive again. And like Kristen Hanna, it's like...
Well, and I mean, it's history, but it's also like very political too. And so you're having to combine these things then to create a fictional story about someone. And so her writing, I told you last night, you need to start with The Nightingale.
And
do you have that? Did I borrow it from you or do I have it? I feel like I might have it.
I thought you gave it to me. I have it somewhere.
Okay. You need to, I think... You definitely need to read it.
I know. I need to finish my Persephone Hades fanfic. Okay. I'm halfway. Could you be a little more supportive?
I just meant, yes, I definitely support you finishing a series. And then I do need you to read some Kristen Hanna.
Yes.
So.
Well, and I finished our book club book yesterday. So I'm like a free agent now. So I just need to finish this series. I'll finish it this week. And then I'll read Kristen Hanna's book. I'll read The Nightingale before I do the next book club book. Our book club book, if we haven't mentioned, is Flicker in the Dark.
If you want to read it before we record, so it wouldn't be this Wednesday. Well, you're listening this Wednesday. But it'll be next week. Wednesday, whatever. Because we're going to have our book club, and then we'll record a little wrappy up of that book. So
and behind the scenes news, because I don't think we've talked about this, but I
saw it though.
Okay, yes,
please tell me.
I have a bookstagram girl. Her name's Katie. So sorry, Katie, I can't think of what your handle is right now. But she does like book memes, and I reposted it at one of her memes one day, and then she responded to my story. And she and I, you couldn't see this as my personal account, she and I had a like hour-long conversation, just like talking back and forth. Yeah. She lives in Seattle. She's so cool. She's a mom, blah, blah, blah. And she wants to be our guest. I invited her to be our guest.
Oh my God. I think I saw that part. I saw just on our cheers to that Instagram, her saying that she finished her pile of books, so she's ready. And so I assumed it was for our book club.
Yeah, so next month, April, guest and book club episode could be combined.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking, but that's behind the scenes, you know.
Yes.
We'll figure that out later.
I'm so excited.
But I liked it because she's like really well read, and she like gets sent arcs, which is like you have to be a really
What do you mean arcs?
Impressive reader. Arcs are like I don't even know how to explain it. Authors send out arcs to like get basically like public opinion and like feedback from people that are really well read. So like authors will send, like publishers send the arcs out to like see how readers are perceiving it and what they like about it or don't like about it. So there's like they read it and they kind of review it and send it back. I think
she's doing that. That's amazing. Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. I've known a couple people that get arcs, and I'm like, wow, you're literally so cool. We'll have to ask her about what the process is, because I don't know that
I'd love to
conclusively. I'm basing that on knowledge I got when I was like for sure doing hair. I knew someone that got arcs. So
that is so cool.
So she had like that. She had her own book club. She had this. She's like, I cannot read any more books for March. And I was like, no stress, girl. Next month, I'll tell you what our book is. We need to figure out what our genre is for next month's book club. But yeah, I'm like having a really hard time not talking about Flicker in the Dark because I just finished it. But I will hold it together.
We will hold it together.
Book club is Friday.
Yes.
I will keep it in until then.
I'm excited. This will be our third book club that we're doing, so I feel pretty successful with this thing that we've created.
I love it.
Have you been watching anything besides Grey's Anatomy? Or
White Lotus.
Okay, what do you think?
3. Okay.
I heard about one scene, but sorry, continue, and then I want to specify. What scene did you hear? I just saw that there's a very incestuous. How do you say this?
Incestuous. You got it.
Incestuous.
Are you having a stroke?
Yes. Scene between the brothers or something.
Yeah, I think it's more concerning.
What? Just your. Yeah, actually, now that I've thought about it, that is actually inappropriate. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Overall, White Lotus, and then we'll get to that.
The thing with White Lotus, if you haven't watched season 1 and 2,
you don't get the art behind it.
Well, and like White Lotus is a weird show. It ends up being good. It's like you're saying with Kristen Hanna, but way less. They wrap it up nicely at the end, but it's like definitely like a weird artsy journey. Like there's going to be a lot of weird pauses. It's a statement on culture and on people, and especially wealthy people that are on vacation. So if that's not your beat, then you're not going to like it. I will say with White Lotus, I think the best practice is to wait until the full season is out and then binge it.
Yes, I agree.
Going week to week like I'm doing right now is painful.
I'm doing that with Severance right now because I didn't realize.
Severance is done. The finale came out.
Okay, well, I haven't watched the finale.
I've seen everyone posting about it.
I haven't watched the finale, so I'm dying to. But I totally agree because it is really hard to keep up with the week to week.
And like, the vibes of White Lotus are just so weird. Like, it's a weird show, but it's good. I like the weird.
You almost need, though, to binge it versus waiting week to week because it is slow. I've watched the first 2 seasons.
Yes.
And I really like it. It is my vibe.
The thing with White Lotus is they always get such a stellar cast.
Yes.
And it is.
They had Jennifer Coolidge on the first 2 seasons.
Jennifer Coolidge, my queen. My queen.
Like, it's insane that they had her on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So I actually restarted the first season because I wanted more of the vibe, but I was caught up on the third season. So I was like, let me rewatch it. And then I was like, I don't even really like the first season that much. It's
That's so funny.
Weird. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney's in the first season, Connie Britton.
Yes.
Oh, I can't think of his last name. Zach, not Braff.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll maybe think of it later. Probably not. You recognize him. If you see him, you recognize him. The Australian guy that's the hotel manager is the one that's in the most beautiful scene from The Last of Us, or most beautiful episode from The Last of Us with Ron Swanson.
Yes.
And they're lovers. His name's not really Ron Swanson, but you know what I'm talking about.
You know who it is.
Season 2, Aubrey Plaza, Megan Fahey, Theo James.
The cat season 2, I love season 2. So
I loved
good.
season 2. I'm gonna have to wait and see how I feel once I'm done.
It has Patrick Schwarzenegger in it.
Yes, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Gold star for me.
Look at you go! And I've never seen him in anything, and he's like plays a douche, but I love him. I love him. Piper, not Piper. That's the daughter's name. Parker Posey is getting a lot of acclaim for her accent because she's like real country.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
You'd recognize her if you saw her. She's very much an indie person. And then Malfoy's dad.
Oh, okay.
Is the dad. He does not have blonde hair. So for a second,
really
it's hard to place
me off. Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yes, but people are freaking out because they had a full frontal peen of him,
and come to find out, it was fake. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, but I thought
he said that it was a prosthetic. Not always, because on the Menendez brothers, the Menendez brothers, he said,
he was like, "That's all me, girl."
Yeah, that was insane.
That was scary. And then same thing with Saltburn.
Yes.
Harry Keoghan said his was not a prosthetic, which
I feel like he would lie about it, though.
Yeah, he's a creep. We don't like how he treated Sabrina.
I really feel like he would definitely lie about having a prosthetic.
I agree. But yeah, full frontal wiener. Don't watch it in front of your kids. That's all I can say about that.
Oh yeah, White Lotus is
don't ever watch it in front of your kids. But
don't.
it's pretty good so far. The vibes are weird. There's like a group of older women. They're like probably in their late 40s, and you would recognize all of them, but like I can't think of most of their names. But it's so like classic, like high school reunion shitty girl behavior. Like the minute one girl leaves, the other two start talking shit.
No.
But it's like, but it's so funny and it's so real. So like I love it. But yeah, so I've been watching that.
Are you still watching Yellow Jackets? Because we just started season 3.
I am taking a break because I want the whole season to be out.
I agree.
Yellow Jackets has too many cliffhangers. And so fun fact, I called you the other night because we started season 3 and it gives a 30-second recap of everything that happened in season 1 and 2, which gave no answers. And there's,
by the way,
literally so much that happens.
So I called you and I knew you had recently watched it. And so I said, quick, give me a recap. And you had to go through season 1 and 2.
Yes. You called me and said, I need a recap on season 1 and 2. Of 20 episodes of TV is what you asked for.
And as you're giving the recap, recalling every single character's name, I have the IMDb pulled up. And as soon as you're saying the name, I'm referring to it and going, oh, yes. Okay, I remember this.
You and Matt are going, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So funny. But I watched those back to back and I binged them for sure. So it's fresh in my mind. But Yellow Jackets is another one. You got to get like down in the dirt with it.
You do.
And I need it to be complete. I can't handle the cliffhangers.
I agree. I'm right there with you.
And that's it. That's it.
But we were like dying to start something because we had finished Love is Blind and we needed a TV show together. So we'll see.
How did you feel about Lib?
Crappy season. Am I going to continue to watch it every single season? Yes.
I want to watch it with you because I want to be part of something. That's just like one of my flaws.
Little FOMO when I have my watch party with one other person.
But also like just being a part of like a thing that you're all doing together. Yes, exactly. Because I listen to them talk about it on the toast and I'm like, I do not know what you're talking about. And this sounds terrible, but I do think I'd like to watch it.
Matt and I get really deep into the lore. His TikTok will be filled with Love is Blind lore. Like, he's giving me spoilers before we've even watched the next episode. He gets so deep into reality TV. It's hilarious.
Reality TV sucks you in.
It does. Below Deck. Don't ask us to watch it. We will be watching that until 1 a.m. We can't do it. It's like crack to us.
so funny.
Next, we cannot stop.
That's how I felt.
So random.
That's what Connor did with Love on the Spectrum, and I think it's because it just like relates to us so much. Have you ever watched Love on the Spectrum?
I've watched like 2 episodes,
my God.
and it's so sweet.
It's so
sweet,
so beautiful,
and it shows that love is possible for anyone and everyone.
And like, oh, they just want I just love them so much. And there was a couple, Connor and Emily, on there.
Oh, look at that!
It was us,
meant to be.
Yeah, literally. But no, I loved. That's like one of the best reality TVs. You know what show I turn on? For some reason, it makes me think of you. If I'm like wanting to fall asleep, Great British Baking Show.
Oh, yes, I love Great British Baking Show. I haven't watched it in years, but that used to be I turn it on and I clean the house.
That's like love. If I'm like in between wanting to take a nap and like Fielding's asleep on me, I turn on Great British Baking Show, and
isn't it so relaxing?
Oh my God. I just want to leave it all and go
they
to the
make
English countryside.
their little tarts and their whatever. I don't even know the names of everything.
They're so British, and it's like they have all this like ambient sounds, like the birds chirping and the rain on
They're
the
out
tent.
in the tent cooking these delectable desserts.
Are you kidding me? I don't even like dessert. I just want to sit there with them. There are a few things that make me want to like leave life and just like forget it all and go live in the British countryside. Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley.
I need to watch that.
Ugh. My favorite movie of all time. I say that about everything, but Pride and Prejudice, that's another one, comfort show. And it's just like, what a simple, beautiful life. Obviously, it's like in the 1700s, but regardless. And then
the point.
Same thing about Great British Baking Show. Now, what holds me back is healthcare, access to braces.
I mean,
cost of living,
being ruled by a king and a queen, like what?
And parliament, yeah. And so therefore, I don't.
Yeah,
but I
you
do
could go
have a
visit.
thought.
You could. What's your thought? I'm scared.
No, that's my thought.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like we go rule England or something. Like knowing you, that would be.
I could tell by the smile on your face that you thought my thought was overthrowing the British government.
1000%.
I don't think that happens anymore. I think it's pretty set in stone.
Oh yes,
unless I go.
Okay.
Unless I get just swarmed by the British FBI.
God,
am I even imagine? Is that what it is?
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, that's all I have.
There was something else I was going to tell you. What was it? Oh, okay. I wanted to bring this up because I realized I just assume I'm a very egocentric person. Like I might as well be in kindergarten sometimes. I just assume when we talk about something, everyone knows what we're talking about. And I laughed so hard that one of our friends messaged you yesterday, and it was a meme that said, when you're talking about...
Pull it up. It's so funny.
Okay. What was it? Did I send you the screenshot? I did send you a screenshot.
I posted it on our story, too. So, not to out you, but it is our friend Kevin.
And he's an avid listener to us. We're very grateful.
But it's so... Kevin is like such a unique sense of humor. Him and Mary Elizabeth make me laugh so hard. But like, Kevin is the one that we've talked about cannot get a phrase right. Like, if you think Courtney's bad, it's worse with Kevin. I've heard that man say like idioms that are not even close to what they're supposed to be. But he's not a country listener. Okay. So go ahead.
He sent a meme that says, my wife explained to me that Zach Bryan, and Luke Bryan are three completely different people who happen to work in the same industry. And the one who dated a girl named Chicken Leg, if you know, you know, had nothing to do with a song called Chicken Fried. And I think I have a brain bleed. And he sends this to Emily and says, how I feel every time you'll talk about country music on CTT. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Not everyone listens to country music.
Well, and what's funny is I don't even really listen to country music that much, but
but you know all the lore.
I know the why. I don't know how. I guess I'm just like media literate. Sorry, Kevin.
Well, and what's hilarious is I had just seen a TikTok. It's literally Luke Bryan on the TikTok. He's so funny. And he goes, I just walked into a convenience store and someone told him, man, have you ever been told you look a lot like Blake Shelton? And he goes,
what?
Well, they both have beards now, and I think just because they're like a little bit aged, and he wears his glasses, so you can't really tell.
Hilarious.
But he goes, nope, never been told I look like Blake Shelton, and had to call Blake Shelton. And so it's just hilarious to me that whenever I'm talking about the lore behind like Zach Bryan or whatever it is, not everyone might know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Maybe they skip a little bit, and it's
Kevin
just so funny to me.
Too busy like coding and being like super intelligent.
He's
and
way too smart for us.
I sleep like a baby. Like that's where we're at. And Kevin's like, I'm reading a book about coding. Like, please.
Yeah, far more than coding. So that's just the base of what we know he does. Like, there's so much more.
No, Kevin tried to explain. Kevin's like a program. Sorry,
like actual genius.
He like does things with predictive software like ChatGPT, but for medical coding. I think
that is not what I got from the conversation he gave me, but that's because it sounded like a different language when he was explaining.
Well, he was trying to explain it to Connor and I, and he's like, I run programs on the machines and I find the bugs.
He's like, how can I dumb it down?
No, Connor and I are like, hard. Where are the machines? Like he's like, no, the machine's in the cloud. I'm like, what cloud? Like. Then he's like, I promise, I could explain this to you in 15 minutes, you guys. It's not hard.
15-minute dissertation.
We're like, Connor and I are bad at basic math. I had to do long division on a test I took last week, and
I'm telling you, this is why we need to do a friend night where we all bring a presentation of what do you actually do for work, because none of us have an idea of like, because I say I teach. You know, it's like, okay, or I know you teach. What exactly do you teach? Well, I know now, 8th grade history, but like it took me a while to remember that. I'm like, I know you teach something about history.
Today's episode of Cheers to That is brought to you by Kava Haven. Kava Haven is a non-alcoholic spirit for relaxation and social bliss. With 0 added sugars and only 30 calories per shot, Kava Haven is the perfect addition to your favorite mocktail recipe. If you'd like to have all the buzz with none of the booze, use our code Cheers to That 15 for 15% off. That's Cheers to That 15 for 15% off of your first bottle of Kava Haven at kavahaven.com. Find them at Drink Kava Haven on Instagram. Thanks for sponsoring our show.
We are also sponsored by Love Hearted Kiddos. Ashley is the heart behind Love Hearted Kiddos. She started as a love letter to her kids, which then led to creating fun, unique bows and accessories that bring joy to little ones and their stylish moms too. You can find her at loveheartedkiddos.com and on Instagram and Facebook at Love Hearted Kiddos. Use the code Cheers to That 20 for 20% off your order.
Oh, that's a situation unique to you, I think, because I've always known what you do.
Okay. Well, because at one point you did AP World History, and then you did Geography.
Never taught AP World History. Never taught AP U.S. History.
Yep, that one.
Completely different. I know they seem similar. Like, if Mary Elizabeth were to hear you say that, she would die, because WAP versus APUSH, different
That's
beast.
why I need a presentation on everyone's jobs, even our husbands. Like, I need them to take pictures and videos of what they're actually doing at work and then put it into this
loud noises. Grease, loud noises. That's their job. Yes. That's all you need to tell people.
Getting home late because they're working so much. That's all we know. So...
that's a great idea. Let's do a PowerPoint night. We should do that like on a book club thing.
That would be fun.
Because like even Olivia explained her job to me one time, and I was like, "What?" Like she's fire safety or something, but she's not a firefighter. Cool. But she like goes into. Sorry, Olivia, I'm butchering your job too. She like goes into buildings and like looks for their fire safety routes.
Point proven. This is why we need PowerPoints. So
I support this so much.
All right, we're
solid.
here for it.
Anyways,
here's a plan.
Are we ready for our topic?
Yes. Go ahead and give the topic that you gave.
Okay, so I was inspired the other night, and we haven't like polled the audience in a while. Like we haven't been asking for suggestions because we want to let you guys marinate. You know, if you oversaturate your market by asking for mom trums every week, you get some fatigue. So I was inspired because I was sitting in the living room with my beautiful child, and I heard my husband snoring in the bedroom, and I thought, wow, I'm angry. And so I thought, why don't I ask our listeners, what is something that instantly makes you irrationally angry, right? Like it doesn't have to have a true reason. You hear it, you see it, you smell it, you touch it, you're angry.
Yep.
Okay. And then I wanted to also add some positivity because if not, I will drown in a sea of negativity. So I said, what also makes you irrationally happy? And those responses I loved. We got such good ones.
Such good feedback. I am so impressed with like everyone's answers. I was like, oh, these are so good.
Literally, Courtney texted me and she's like, great idea. I'm like, well, this is how any of my ideas come in the middle of the night on a random thought. So go ahead. Well, actually, I'm going to hear yours first.
What makes me irrationally angry?
Yes.
Balloons popping.
So true.
Matt and I have been on a full-blown fight before because we were decorating for one of Addie's birthdays, and it was one of those big balloons, and he accidentally overfilled it, and it popped, and I got so mad at him. So then the fighting commenced of like, why are you mad at me? All I did was pop a balloon, and there's nothing inside of me recoils at the sound of a balloon popping.
And what's hilarious is that you have passed that trait onto your daughter.
Yes.
Directly.
She hates it.
And I don't like loud noises either. Balloons popping doesn't make me as angry as it makes you, but I understand. Okay, and anything else to add to that?
No, what's yours?
Irrational.
Well, I have some that I can agree with on here. So
for sure. Irrationally angry when people drop like a lot of things at once.
You don't want to just like go help them?
What? I mean, I have a long list.
I figured you did.
Like, it's better now that I'm, medicated, but like, this makes me sound so crazy. When I did hair and people would like drop a blow dryer, drop their scissors, drop a comb, drop a bowl, and it was like a loud noise.
A sudden noise.
Yes, when it startles me,
yes.
Instantly angry. And if I get startled, I'm mad. Like, that's my...
Well, that's the pinnacle of the balloons popping. It's the sound of it that startles me, and so I get mad.
So funny. Why don't balloons bother me? I'm not sure. But that makes me angry. It's Connor hilarious. Snoring whenever he like puts his pillows in a position that is pro snoring. Like if you put two pillows behind your head so where your neck is touching your chest, you're going to snore.
But my neck is comfortable. I can see him saying it.
I was trying to stay awake longer before you Philly came, so I put my pillows up. He had 2 snore devices on because I like have made him buy like all these different things. Irrationally angry. What else? There's a bunch that are in there that I agree with. Waking up with makeup on.
Yes, you are vehemently. I can't pronounce anything today.
You got it.
Against it.
Oh, if I wake up in bed and I have not washed my face. Actually, not even there. If I've not taken a full body shower, I'm pissed.
It's been a long time since I've woken up like that. Because I noticed if I wear my makeup to bed, I just instantly break out. I can't do it anymore. There's no option for me. And so then, honestly, if you're going to wash your face, it's so much easier just to jump in the shower.
Yeah. Oh, because when the water runs down your elbows.
No, I hate it. Another irrationally angry.
No, let me just tell you like my irrationally angry tick for falling asleep with makeup. One thing I do if I like have been laying with Fielding and I don't remember falling asleep, the first thing I do is fill my eyelashes to see if I have mascara on them.
Oh my God.
That's like, and I do that like even in the mornings, just randomly. Like I'll wake up and fill my eyelashes and make sure I don't have makeup on.
I can just feel if there were to be like foundation, like it feels like suffocating me. I get claustrophobic.
Can't. Okay.
Let me read some. This is the first one that stuck out to me. And I'm like, this, and we said this is anonymous and non-judgmental. So if I say anything, I promise I'm not judging. I'm laughing because it's so damn funny. Like what people.
Yes.
This one says minivans. It's so
my mom
funny.
Is the same way. My mom hates
like she just sees a minivan and she just gets mad about it.
My mom, I know we said this was anonymous. My mom also put El Camino.
I didn't know what that was. I thought it was a movie.
It's
or a restaurant.
It's the cars that look like trucks. The cars that have a truck bed.
Oh, that's so random.
Hates El Camino. I can't believe you've never heard her say it. If she sees an El Camino, instantly angry. But she feels the same way about minivans.
It's so funny. This one was very specific. I guess I'll keep this one anonymous. When restaurants or stores have double doors, but they keep one of them locked. I sent you a screenshot of it because I was laughing so hard, guys.
And you know what?
Like this is
valid
funny.
Because whenever you go to open, no one looks dumber than the person that tries to open the door that's locked.
Yes. And how many times have I done that? And it does make me angry. It's just not something that I would have thought of, but it's so funny. Whining, which I can agree with. That one's a tough one for me. Like as a parent, trying not to just blow up if I hear whining, but it's so hard for me.
Agreed.
Ooh, I can agree with this one too. Hearing people chew. If I hear someone smacking or chewing, and she said specifically if she's not eating, so I guess it doesn't bother her if she's eating.
There are varying degrees to this one. I think this one has layers. If you're not eating, so someone else is chewing near you, like that is annoying. Smacking, open mouth chewing, like I'm out.
Wait, the chewing though, I get self-conscious though if someone else isn't eating and then all I can hear is myself chewing. Yes. I get very self-conscious.
I think of taking the tax test. were we allowed to have food in there? I remembered being in silent testing rooms and like being allowed to have a snack and being like, I'm going to make this Cheeto dissolve in my mouth before I wilt
like a lollipop before I chew it.
I'm going to let it disintegrate. So by the time that I actually put teeth to it, there's no sound. But do you know that there's an actual diagnosis for I think
not
it's called
being...
mesothelioma?
No?
I think it's called like mesophilia,
Okay. I thought you were going to say mesothelioma.
If you or your loved ones have been impacted.
That's all I can think of. If you or your loved ones want to stab somebody if they're smacking, you might be affected by this.
I'm a naturally loud person with breathing and chewing, I think.
I've never heard you chew. Have I heard you breathe? Yes. I've also heard your son breathe.
No, Fielding and I was telling my mom that you were roasting me about breathing in the car. Because Courtney's like, oh, Fielding, I can hear you breathing just like your mom. And I was like, okay, bitch.
And you're like, wait, can you hear me breathe? I was like, yeah, I mean, not all the time, but like in that moment, yes, I was hearing you breathe.
If I'm like not being conscious of it, I'm a heavy breather.
But that doesn't make me angry though. I'm just like, wait, why is that sound coming from her?
Are you labored right now? Like, are you okay? I'm just sitting. I have a deviated septum. So you're basically making fun of someone with a disability.
Can you go get it fixed?
No. I like myself the way I am.
Does Connor? I'm just kidding.
I know I'm sitting here bitching about him snoring. He's like, you're snoring awake.
Just 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's very similar, but this one it gets me chills thinking about it. Licking fingers and then chewing with your mouth open. But
you are really funny about licking fingers
because it brings me back to a middle school sleepover, and I can vividly remember. I will never call
say
this
her name.
Say a specific girl eating Cheetos, licking her fingers, and then putting her fingers back in the bag.
Okay, that's a criminal offense. I'm a finger licker.
I've never noticed you lick your fingers though. So do you do it in a subtle way? Because like I've done it. I'm not saying I don't lick my fingers, but it's not like. Don't clip that.
Title of today's episode: Finger licking good. I'm not saying I don't lick my fingers. No, but
it's like a little sneaky, like a little mouse, like not even with the sound though. It's just, I had to give a sound effect to if someone's just listening and not watching, just like a little like,
yeah. No, for sure. Okay, so I understand where we're coming from now because I've seen you get on to Addie about licking your fingers, and I'm like, oh my God, I lick my fingers all the time. Courtney must be like, you gross bitch. But
it's only if you make a show of it.
And I don't make a big sound. Like, I'm just going to like very silently do it. Yeah. But, no.
And it's if you're in like an emergency situation, like if you're eating
What emergency situation? Oh my God! What emergency situation are you eating chips in?
Like if you don't have a napkin.
Matt fell down the stairs. Courtney's just in the kitchen eating chips, licking her fingers.
Before I have to dial on my phone? Yeah. Can't dial 911 with Cheeto fingers.
That's why you hesitated to call 911 because you had shit on your fingers.
Oh my God. We're unhinged today.
Anyways,
unhinged.
But I've always been conscious about that, so I'm really glad we're working this out while recording.
So funny. I'm literally crying. Okay, let's see. People who plan stuff last minute. I don't know.
This one, I felt
that's so funny.
I targeted.
You're like, are you talking about me? No, even though I've never made plans with you.
Literally. I am the most last minute planner, but I can understand how that irks people. And I feel like, especially like my in-laws, like my mother-in-law and sister-in-laws having to learn that about me probably was frustrating for them because they're like, bitch, like communicate. But I'm like, no, but I have to wait and see if I feel like doing it in this exact moment. Because I'm not a pre-planner.
You've grown a lot in that area, though. Yes. You used to be very, very last minute. And I think you've grown there. This one says when grandparents show up with excessive items that they thought we might like to have. But sometimes I will say it's just their love language. Yes. Like it's just hard because I think like that's just that generation's love language. And then our generation is like, no extra stuff in the house. Declutter! We can't do it! Which I literally dreamed about having to declutter last night. So it haunts my dreams.
I'm feeling that wholeheartedly. The thing is that my mom brings the biggest things to my house. And somehow Fielding always is obsessed with them.
My kids too. So
she does it to your kids. Yeah, we say Nicole has like a special penchant for giving kid gifts because they always are obsessed with them and they're the worst toys for parents. But it's fine, Mom. Good job. Keep up the good work.
because they always like
as
them,
I look at this big ass kid recliner in my room
that Tucker uses.
Oh yeah,
all the time,
I'm gonna bring it to your house. It's yours now.
Okay.
Decluttering, too huge. Clutter transfer.
Being overstimulated. Oof. I get that. That one's that's a big struggle with me. And especially like parenting has brought that out a lot in me. Making plans and having to alter them in any way, time, place, people that you mentally prep. I understand this. Matt is like, I can vividly remember being I was in high school. He had just graduated. But they were making like a last minute plan to go to the movies and I cried. Like I could not deal with like a change.
Yeah.
I've obviously
You've grown a lot in that area
but I do sometimes like kind of go into like a little mini freak out mode.
You can work yourself through it more now. And like I think one good thing, the only good thing about our friendship,
excuse me,
is like when you're feeling that way, I will like you'll be like, hey, I need you to talk me through this. Like you'll call me and ask me to be like, and then I'm like, okay, Courtney, this is what we're gonna do.
Yep,
and it's gonna be fine. And if this happens, like we're good. And you're like, oh yeah, okay,
yes,
like
exactly. It's definitely a coping skill that you have to learn over time. This one says everything when I'm not medicated.
Same.
We can all relate.
I walked around for 20 years pissed, maybe 21 years, like just angry. Yeah.
People who stand up and cut everyone else getting off the airplane.
So specific, so accurate.
I know. But some of these, they're so specific, but once you think about them, you're like, oh yeah, that does make me angry.
But you know what I love? You can really this is like, should be a question on your like first date with anybody. Cause I'm like understanding people's psyche and what is so important to them. Like based on this, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like
your therapist side is coming out.
Yes.
Let me fix you. This is why we actually ask the question, so we can give you all coping skills.
This is what's wrong with you.
Just kidding. Anyone on the end of a customer service line. Nothing against them. I'm like, what? They're doing their job.
Well, they should quit.
So funny. I get this one. When people, it's so bad around here, when people who are driving turn super slowly. Get out of my way. They have their blinker on, which is great, whatever. And I'm like, and Addie would tell me, Mom, just honk at them. Sorry, I can't just honk at them. But
sometimes I do.
Just a little beep, beep.
No, sometimes I'm going to lay on it because you're creating a danger. I'm going to get rear-ended because you don't know how to turn.
Yes.
Skinny pedal on the right, girlfriend.
As Addie would say, skirt. That's what you need to be doing.
Retweet
on
Addie.
2 wheels, turning. That's it. Let's see. There was one more that had something. I'm trying to find it, but it was another, like if you don't use your blinker, basically.
Yes, valid.
And then one more, it got put on the other one, so I'm looking for it. But they had a business partner who stole all their ideas and started a new business. But she said her, I guess kind of win or good thing from that was it made her stronger and she's more successful than her.
And you know what?
Give it.
But the thing is, like, that is how we learn and grow. And like, you trust people and you can't. That's why I don't trust you. And we're going to sign.
Oh, do we get to sign starts with a P. It's not an NDA. It's
prenup?
Oh, we get to sign a prenup.
We're not getting married.
No, it's called it'd be like a pre-business plan. Yeah. We have to make sure when we split this, our assets get split, as in microphones.
Get one pink chair. I'm going to have to saw this table in half.
No, I get one light.
We are good about that, but I think it reminds me of the toast, like, because they're sisters. I think it's like there's a lot more faith in there, and like I know you so wholeheartedly, but like if we had just met, like we would have been doing some paperwork, baby girl. Because if this did take off, like you don't want to be in a like weird litigious situation. Like look at all the podcasters like Alex Cooper and stuff who like used to have a host.
Yes, or think about
chicken leg.
Yeah, what was Brianna Uncut with Grace and Plan Brie, best friends since childhood, and then they had this big falling out. But turns out like during the with all the podcasting, like Brie was getting paid way more than Grace, which is hard because it's like she had the platform, but also Brie Grace, my God, Grace was also doing that work. And so that just gets sketchy. So like maybe when we actually start making money, we'd have to come up with an actual business plan.
But here's the difference.
But I would trust you. I would never like think that you would like take advantage.
But you and I also are coming up together. That's the difference. I think whenever you've got one person in more of the position of power, that's what happened with
the great thing is we're both starting at ground zero.
We're both losers.
So when you both start at nothing, we're both going to make it to the top.
What's up?
Okay, what makes you irrationally happy?
Laying in bed and drinking coffee.
Yeah.
A delight. Yeah. You know that about me. It's my favorite. Cool weather, like 65 outside.
Yes.
Delighted. If I don't have anywhere to go and my house is clean and my dishwasher's running, a really big rainstorm outside.
Yes.
Love. So cozy. Yeah.
For me, nap on the couch, especially if it's raining outside. But like I love, like yesterday I took a nap on the couch and I even put a timer on my brain, like not even on my clock, but like I was like, okay, I'm going to take a 30-minute nap. Guess what? I woke up at 30 minutes.
Are you a robot? Courtney, set timer for 30 minutes.
Hey, Alexa. But I just love a nap on the couch. It's just like so nice to me. And just like a sunny day. I guess here it's a little like steamy to like just open your windows and it smells like kind of the beach. And I don't like that. But like when we lived in Oklahoma, my favorite thing was like having a clean house and I'd open up the windows or even like I would dry our like blankets out on like a line and just let it like fresh air.
It's giving homestead.
Yeah. You know, I'm more homesteading now than I was back then.
You are popping that sourdough around town.
My dad was like, our chickens next. If I had a backyard, yes.
Well, they're not, you can't have them because we're HOA, but how would they ever know?
I mean, I wouldn't have them here in this neighborhood, but like if I had an acre, of land, I would have 2 chickens.
Don't real chicken eggs kind of gross you out?
No, but I grew up with them. Like I grew up having to wash them off, like the poop and stuff and the feathers. You have to wash them off. Like they don't just pop out golden shiny like the grocery store.
Disgusting. Jail. Never mind. I don't want chickens.
Just do it for me, Courtney.
Courtney, can you wash my eggs? I don't want to.
All right. Some responses we got were my husband and daughter playing, which is so sweet. Anything to get the kids off of me.
Get the hell away from me.
A Kindle and sleeping babies. Love that. Suns, bird, nature, and good weather. We have some like real like,
hippies.
I love it. This is my crew. The first sip of wine on a girl's night out or a date night. You made it. Yes.
There is nothing like it, brother.
Or just like ordering a glass of champagne. Like when Matt and I went on our little mini date night that we still ended up at the coffee shop, but I had one glass of champagne and just that first sip, the bubbles on my mouth. Which, speaking of, I just went 2 weeks without drinking. I wanted to test myself, and turns out I had like 5 opportunities in the span of 2 weeks to like drink. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, still, first sip of champagne gets me. The beach.
Can't relate.
I love the beach, but I have to be on vacation at the beach. If it's a day trip, it's more of a hassle to me, which I was talking about this with like Matt's cousin's girlfriend we live so close to Galveston. Like I do like a day trip, but it's more for the kids. Like to go, but it's not relaxing.
I'd rather stay one night in a hotel at the beach. Yeah,
because then you can wash off and everything. I literally bring extra water to wash off our feet and everything before we get in my car. Okay, this is one I had a question about. She says she rereads Midnight Sun every other year. But what's Midnight Sun?
It's Twilight from Edward's perspective.
Oh, I love that. She has that on her.
We've talked about this probably before, but I am such a creature of habit, and I should have said this. There is an audiobook series that I've probably had on my phone for like 12 years, and I listen to it every year at the same time, and it is like my comfort thing to do for myself, so I totally get that.
I love that. Good cookies. Which, speaking of, I need that recipe. Not that I would ever be able to create it, but from Maddie, who made those cookies at Bunko, those were, like, I still think about those chocolate chip cookies. They were so good. Cuddling with my dogs. I can't relate on that one.
I don't touch that thing. That sounded so bad. I pet her with my foot the other day. She's fine.
A good restaurant with a fat glass of wine. I love how specific that is because, if they give you a good pour, you're my favorite place.
I'm picturing like steakhouse, fat glass of red wine, like, and a bomb steak and family sides. Like, I'm picturing like Perry's, and I'm like, oof.
Yes. Ice lattes, which I know this is anonymous, but that's my sister who literally lives on ice lattes. So when I saw that, I was like, that makes so much sense for her.
I don't like iced coffee. Hot take. I only drink hot coffee, even when it's the summer.
That's concerning. You don't like, are you willing to sweat while you drink the cup?
Yes.
Okay. You're stuck to this. Like, you're not changing your mind.
Watered down coffee infuriates me. And you can never drink it fast enough where there's not weird amounts. I hate it.
The ratio, like if you go to Starbucks, the ratio of ice is always off. They give you way too much because they're trying to cheap out. Being near the water reading. So like even at the lake, like just reading on the dock. Perfect day. This one's very specific, but dachshund puppies and baby elephants. I love that. That's
what
so
the fuck
cute.
did you just say?
Dachshund puppies and baby elephants.
Courtney, dachshund.
No, that's what it says. Dachshund. Dachshund.
That's dachshund.
That is not. No, dachshund is a breed. That is not.
Dachshund's not a breed. It's dachshund. That's a wiener dog. I'm so upset right now.
Dachshund is a breed.
Courtney, no, it's not. It's dachshund.
Hang on. I want to see, because you know how it'll tell you how to say it? Hang on. Oh. I thought it was going to tell you.
What? I hope to God that Mike picked that up. She just played a video of a dog barking.
No, I clicked the speaker on Google where it tells you how to pronounce it, and it just did.
Dachshund.
You freaking played yourself. You thought you were doing something
Dachshund.
too.
I have heard it called that. I'm
Courtney
1000%.
who?
I'm sticking to the bit.
Granny doesn't count.
A dachshund puppy. Dachshund? That's how you say it? Dachshund? Okay.
Oh my God. That was an insane argument.
Well, it really was insane because I pressed the speaker and it just barked at me.
How do you say dachshund in dachshund?
I'm putting this up as a poll. Okay. Anyways.
You're just shriveling down on being wrong. I love it. Okay, keep going.
The last one, when I complete multiple tasks at once and they all turn out the way I wanted them to. Which love, especially with work. Like if you're like on a roll, you're multitasking and you're like, okay, I got this. I
have another one. A to-do list and then like marking every single thing off your to-do list.
Yes. Sometimes even if I've already done the task, I'll go ahead and put it on my to-do list just so I can mark it off and feel accomplished.
Yes, yes. I love that. I think, like I said earlier, this reveals so much about people because it's like the being mad that the restaurant door is locked, like the second restaurant door. Well, you don't like to feel stupid or like you don't know what's going on. What was the other one?
If you're wanting an analyzation, please.
Analysis.
Whatever. I'm done at this point with trying to say words.
This hasn't been a word day for you.
This is not. It wasn't yesterday either. I'm like, I must not be taking my right supplements because the brain fog's back.
I don't think that's what's happening. What else was there? Oh, people in traffic and like turning slow. Patience is something you struggle with.
Yes.
Loud noises. You probably don't like or being out of control or feeling like you are startled by something. It's just interesting on like an intellectual, therapeutic
getting
level.
to know more about our listeners just through our simple little answers.
I love it.
Little did you know, we're using you as a study case.
We are. We're both becoming therapists. And I'm drinking Dr. Pepper out of a wine
therapist
glass.
is like, please don't, please.
She's like, literally never. No. Well, also the book we read, Flicker in the Dark, the protagonist is a therapist. And
that led to, which, okay, we have to save this for the book talk because Grace and I were talking about something with that of why certain people become therapists. So I think it's a really good point to the conversation based on that book. That book was good. So if you need like an easy mystery read, I would definitely pick it up and read it.
Yes. Concur. I concur. Are we ready to...
Are you ready for me to put this up on the poll and see how many people pronounce it like I do?
I'm so excited to see... how you get 0 votes for Dachshund. Because Because the second part of the word isn't even hound, it's hund.
Mm-hmm.
It's H-U-N-D.
But do you think dachshund is a separate breed? No. No?
I really don't.
I'm going to be Googling after this.
I really don't. I really feel like you've just said it. This is, whenever Courtney and I first met, we took our dogs to puppy school.
Yes.
And they asked for the breeds of the dogs. And Courtney had Lila there. And her breed that she wrote down was cow dog.
Yes. Because what is she? She's a working cow dog. I still can't ever remember what breed she is.
Blue heeler. She's mixed.
She is a cow dog, but in Oklahoma terms, that's a real breed. Everywhere else, it is not a universal breed.
Well, I think
not at all.
You have like duck hunting dogs, but that's not their breed.
Yeah.
They're chocolate labs.
Yes.
Or they're Weimaraners.
But why be specific when you can just make people guess
why
on
be
everything?
Specific when you can be vague?
Put that on a coffee mug. I'm done. All right. Y'all, I got to log off of here. I'm done.
Put that on a coffee cup.
Literally can't. I'm... All right. Good night. Good morning. Goodbye.
Okay. On that note, please. I can't even get through it. If you enjoyed this tomfoolery and you want to never know how to pronounce a word again,
wow,
please remember to rate, review, subscribe everywhere you can listen to our podcast. You can watch on YouTube. You can listen on Apple and Spotify. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on The Talk before it gets banned again.
Please do it all. Be the best.
Be the best.
Be our
Bye
winner.
from our sponsors, and we love you. We'll see you next week.
Toodles.
Bye.
Mwah.